Hello, everybody. This is Artie Astor from B Sharp and C. I just did a song. I was doing what I do, scrolling through YouTube, randomly looking to stop on a song, and I came across, I always forget the names of the song. I came across Easy on Me by Adele live at the NRJ Awards from 2021. And yeah, it is your typical amazing Adele performance. But did I give it an amazing score? Well, you're going to have to watch and see. That is what this episode of B Sharp and C is about. Adele, Easy on Me. All right, here we are, folks who have joined me for another episode of B Sharp and C. We're doing what we do. We're just scrolling through. I put in live music in the search field, and we're just scrolling through YouTube looking for a random live performance to watch together. So what do we have? Let's start looking at the screen. The Chicks, Randomantic. Live at the Cozy Cove, James Reed. The Highwaymen live, American Outlaws. A month ago. That's the full concert. I don't want a full concert. Who's this guy? He looks like Nicolas Cage. Who's this? Slow rock ballads. Nothing's gonna stop us now. Oh, it's one of those. I get tired of these covers for some reason, and I don't know why. And some of these covers are really good. Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now by Starship. I'm not in the mood for a cover. Adele, Easy on Me. 197 million views from 3 years ago. Live at the NRJ Awards from 2021. So I've always subscribed to the idea that Adele is horribly overrated. And I do think she's horribly overrated. I think she's got amazing talent, but part of my personal opinion is that I believe that she's a tad overrated. Should we do it? Should we do an Adele song? I will do it if you guys want me to do it. And I'm getting a yes vibe. Should we do an Adele song? I mean, why not? We have to do at least one. It's got 197 million views. It's from 3 years ago. Let's just go ahead and do this Adele song. All right, Adele, wow me.
There ain't no gold in this river that I've been washing my hands in forever. I know there is hope in these waters, but I can't bring myself to swim when I am drowning in this silence. Baby, let me in. Go easy, hug me, baby. I was still a child, didn't get the chance to feel
I thought that I heard a timing
drowning
thing.
in this silence. Baby, let me in. Go easy, hug me, baby. I was still a child, didn't get the chance to feel the world around me. I had no time to choose what I chose to do. So go easy on me. There ain't no room for our things to change when we are both so deeply stuck in our ways.
she's got a lot. When she sings, she does a lot of things that I think are really nice, you know. Um, and it's the note choice, but it's also the note length, if that makes sense.
Ain't no room for things to change when we are both so deeply stuck in our ways.
Must so deeply stuck in our ways. It's a nice. It's a the length of those notes kind of changes up the rhythm a little bit, kind of gives it a little more of a flow. I like it.
So go easy on me.
Easy. So you hear that melody on the piano right there. She sings that melody um, shortly after this. Listen to the melody right there,
There ain't no room for things to change when we
right
are
here.
both so deeply stuck in our ways.
So the piano player plays that melody too. So it's very nice. The arrangement of the song, the way that the song is written is very nice. And she's always, I mean, Adele always has a nice voice. And I'll get back to why I think she's overrated at when she's done with this performance.
Who can deny how hard I have tried? I changed who I was to put you both first, but now I give up. Go ease on me, baby. I was still a child, didn't get the chance to feel the world around me. I had no time to choose what I chose to do.
So it's nice the when you have a piano player and a bass player and nobody else except a vocalist, the piano player has to be a little bit cautious where he goes with his left hand because he doesn't want to go too deep into the bass area where the bass player is playing. He wants to avoid that area so you don't get a bass note on the piano right next to a bass note on the bass guitar, or right even at the same note for the bass guitar, because it could get a little muddy. It could get a little muddy, especially if the bass guitar is not tuned perfectly. I mean, the piano could be out of tune as well, but it's more likely that a bass guitar could be a few microtones off tune. And if that happens, then the two notes next to each other could sound muddy and dissonant. So the piano player is doing a fine job keeping his left hand not too much into the bass area. And even when he does play in the bass area, he keeps it simple. The right hand is doing most of the work. You really don't hear much going on in that left hand. Maybe some octaves or just some root notes, nothing too deep. And it's done by design because the bass player is playing.
To choose what I chose to do, and so go easy on me. I had good intentions, and I had hopes, but I know right now
That was nice. Hold on.
what I chose to do. Feel the world around me.
I like that, but that she does right there. That's so nice.
Feel the world around me. I had no time to choose what I chose to do. So go easy on me.
All right, so there it is. Easy on Me by Adele, live at the NRJ Awards in 2021. It was a very nice performance. I've always looked at Adele and appreciated how much of a vocalist she really is. She strikes me as just a really good singer. She's got an amazing voice. She has quite a interesting presence on stage, you know, and she definitely commands a lot of respect and dignity as a singer and as a performing artist. And this performance really shows the type of persona she wants to put off to the public, you know, and the music that she ends up releasing. Notice how I didn't say writing. The music that she ends up releasing, I really feel as though is uh, uh, demonstrative of how she wants to present herself to her fans. And I mean, this is despite anything that you might say or do in an interview. This is just how I believe she wants to present herself to the public. She does a really, really, really great job with her music. Now, I look at a performance like this and I think it is amazing. I think Adele, when I listen to her sing, I look at someone who really puts everything she has into her music. She puts everything that she has into every performance, and I love that about her. I love the fact that she not only takes the song as a work of art, as something that has been created and dressed up and given life by her, but she also takes every live performing opportunity as a way for her to just be very raw and throw her heart and soul into what she's doing vocally. And that's great. And she really does come out and speak against the use of autotune. Now, does that mean that when she is finished recording a few lines in the studio and she goes home for the night and the mixer and engineer and producer are still in the studio doing work, does that mean that they don't look at a note in the DAW and say, this is a little sharp, or she came in a little flat, can we fix that? I don't know, but she definitely does speak up against using auto tune, especially on the stage when she's performing live. But auto tune nowadays, really a better term for it is pitch correct. And that's when you have recorded something, your pitch is just a little bit off, and you have it up basically in some type of graphic interface where you can see everything and you can literally click and drag something just a little bit back in tune. And done right, and most of the time, that can be done without any audible recognition or any audible noticeable difference by the listener. And does Adele sit there in the studio and get the last listen to every song so she can say, none of this sounds like I used auto tune? Thumbs up, let's go ahead and release this. I have no idea, but she definitely speaks up against using auto tune. And you can tell on some of her live performances that she's not using auto tune because she will at times come in and sing a little off. And I think that is great because it shows the emotion. I think when you're filled with emotion and you're out there performing and you come in and you don't hit the note absolutely perfectly, it shows that you are a human, imperfect vessel doing your best to express yourself with words, to express yourself musically. And coming in and being a little sharp because you got a little overexcited at the beginning of the line, or coming in a little flat. All of that is perfectly human, and it's something that other humans can identify with, which is why in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, live music was such a wonderful thing because everyone was imperfect together. Both the audience and the musicians were all up on stage, well, all in the auditorium or wherever they were, the arena, wherever they were. Everyone was there and they were experiencing the same thing together. There were no tricks, right? And Adele works hard to bring that. Why do I always assert every time I talk about Adele, why do I always say that she's overrated? Because I believe she is. I don't think she is a bad singer. I don't think that she's even less than par. I don't think she's subpar. I don't think she's less than. What I think is when Adele is mentioned, everyone comes out with some type of strong opinion. Most people talk about how she is amazing. But there are a great number of people who also have strong opinions about how they feel as though Adele is overrated or that Adele doesn't deserve the accolades that she receives. And in my opinion, a big part of that is because most of the people that I hear that say that Adele is overrated compare her to artists of years ago. They look at Barbara Streisand, and I'm not even talking about Celine Dion. Part of me actually thinks Celine Dion is overrated. But they look at Barbara Streisand, they look at Ann Wilson, Dolly Parton, a Grace Slick, or somebody else. And I think what happens is Adele is a product of her generation. And a lot of people who are from an earlier generation have some kind of preconceived, stereotypical idea of what a singer like Adele is supposed to be like. And because Adele doesn't fit that mold, I think they automatically begin to say, well, she's not what I grew up listening to. She's not what was great when I was younger. And I understand that. That is not why I think she's overrated. I don't I don't really like her songs. I think that she's got a few good songs. They're really good and I like them as songs, but everything else she does, like this song here, nothing really reached out and said to me, I am the melody that your heart is looking for. And I think that she has a lot of songs that are like that. And even the song, like the one where she says, spring fire to the rain, that's probably my favorite song by her. And I like it because it reaches out to me. It has a very distinguishable and definable motif or hook that grabs me. That it's a song that when the song is over, it kind of stays with me a little bit. And for me as a songwriter myself, that is something that I look forward to. Now, here's something else about Adele. Does she write her own music? Because if you go to AI or you go to Google or you go to certain websites, they say yes. She either writes or co writes every song that she publishes. And it's a big thing these days for an artist to be given credits for writing or co writing a song. And I've seen the process, I've seen interviews or documentaries or whatever, even short little docu videos, maybe like a 10-minute video on YouTube or whatever, of Mariah Carey coming up with a melody, singing, and then a piano player next to her, and then the song kind of forms. And I see that a lot where someone is coming up with lyrics or they're thinking of something melodically, and then based on maybe a few notes that are sung by the singer, then a piano player will come in. Usually it's a piano player because the piano is a very diverse. It has every note and it has a bunch of octaves. I mean, there's nothing you really can't play on the piano, right? So it's usually either a piano player or a guitar player will come in and with accompaniment, and they'll kind of guide the person along. Or someone comes in with a skeleton of a song that's already written, and then someone like Adele or some other vocalists, male or female, will then put lyrics over it and begin to formulate some kind of vocal melody that they can sing to. And then the lyrics come from them as well. So, yes, that is the type of songwriter that I believe Adele is. I don't necessarily, and I could be wrong, but from all the research I've done in the years past, she's the type of songwriter who contributes to the songwriting. She doesn't necessarily sit down and then say, look at the song I wrote. And I could be wrong about that, but I don't think I am. But it is very hard in 2025 to listen to an artist and say, oh, they're the songwriter. They wrote that song. And from someone like me who sits down and has a complete song with everything written, a vocal melody, chords, lyrics, everything, I do want to identify with an artist. I do want to hear a song and say, wow, that was nice. I felt what you felt when you wrote that chord progression, or when you created that vocal melody, or you created that bridge. I can't believe you did that for your bridge instead of this. Or, wow, I can't believe there is no bridge in this song at all. It's just, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. That's really an interesting decision. I really like that. I don't feel like I can identify with Adele on that level. I feel as though she's a different type of artist, and she should be. She has an amazing singing voice. So being that type of artist makes sense, right? What kind of score would I give this performance? It was nice on a lot of levels. But unfortunately, I do lump it into just another Adele performance. Great voice, great song. But almost always when I watch an Adele performance, and I've never seen this one before, but when I watch an Adele performance, I always think there's Adele being Adele, but I'm never wowed. And I wasn't wowed by this. And I don't need her to be doing backflips on stage to wow me. I just, when the performance is over, I think, yeah, that's great stuff. That is why I can't give it too high of a score. But it is Adele. It is amazing. Her voice is incredible. This might really annoy some Adele fans, but I would give it a 7.2. I would give that performance a 7.2. I think it's far above average, but far lacking in anything that makes me watch it and say, holy crap, that was out of this world. It was very far from that. So 7.2 is what I give this. Let me know what you think. Let me know in the comment section if there's a song that you want me to review, and I promise you, I will look at it. Anyways, this is Artie Astor from B Sharp and C, saying until next time, keep it groovy.